pleasure of gathering together because Cooperation Humboldt has brought us here. And I wanted to thank them and take a moment to hear from you all at Co-op Humboldt. Sarah, do you want to say something about what you're up to?
It's just such an honor to have spent this weekend meeting and thinking and practicing and imagining. And we have, I think, Ruthie, if you can, like the things that are coming up, you know, this is the end of a huge weekend and we've got more coming up and we're going to build on this momentum. Do you want to say anything, Ruthie, about like next things coming up or?
Sure. Yeah. Actually, this was this was our first time ever to do an online event. It was the first time to go kind of nationally, internationally. So this was huge, but we'll be doing it again. We're doing a post-capitalism conference where there will be a presentation about the arts. We'll be doing again what Nati and Marina and David Ferris and I did in the last session, but there will be much more. It'll be a much bigger conference. So look for that. That happens the last weekend of April 23rd through 25th. So thanks, Sarah, for bringing that up.
And I also, so first, I do want to just have you, one of the things that our society doesn't let us do is feel what we feel. So I'm just going to lead you through a few breaths, breathing deeply at your own rhythm. You don't have to follow me, but breathing in once for what you've done today and arriving from that. And once to be in the room that you are in. And once, without looking at the Zoom camera, but for the people who are here with us today, we've got 42% participants on this call. So just sending that imagination out to the different parts of the country that are here today. And speaking of different parts of the country, I will just say a few, just let y'all know that Caroline is coming to us from the East Coast. She has a young baby, so she's rarely awake at 9 p.m. her time. So we're really tapping into that dream time today. With that, I would let you, Caroline is an artist who is especially interested in getting people to envision the future, envision a post-capitalist and a regenerative future for all of us. And if you can, use your reactions to give a little round of applause, and I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for putting this on. I have this little baby who is sleeping. I don't know if you can see that, but that's my little baby. So we're in the dream space. And I'm really honored to be here. Yes, for the babies. Nati also has a little baby. Yeah, so the goal for gathering you all is to build with each other and take time around an hour to be in small groups with each other, to really get to know each other and brainstorm about each other's projects, life, work, wild dreams, anything you like. And I'm going to share my screen soon. But before I do, I'd like you to continue that breathing and sense where you are, sense the space you're in. If you have a window, look out the window. And send appreciation to that space, the people, and all of the living and non-living beings that have made your presence possible here. Sense that. And for people who are low vision or blind or calling in, I am a white woman with blue eyes, wearing a blue jacket with a floral print. I'm a little bit sleepy as a new mom. And I'm speaking to you from the unceded ancestral territories of the Podunk, Tunxis, Wangunk, and Sickawag peoples, land that was forcibly taken from them. And it's also the ancestral home of many unnamed tribal communities in Connecticut. I want to honor the past, present, and future Native peoples of the Connecticut River Valley, as well as the sacred land, rivers, and coastal waters of this place. I acknowledge the history of genocide and the ongoing colonization embedded in the communities here and where you are as well. If you want to learn more about the land you're in, you can go to native-land.ca and consider supporting the Land Back campaign. I'll put that in the chat. Note also about the Wi-Fi. If the Wi-Fi goes out, I invite you to remember the last thing that you heard and to know that someone can catch you back up. We will be recording this, so you'll be able to watch the recording, and hopefully you can get back in when your Wi-Fi or your phone allows you to. If you're able to, I encourage you to give visual descriptions when you're in your small groups. And with that, I'm going to share a little bit about how this session will be structured. All right, do you see this thing that says welcome to the Idea Lab on your screen?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Cool. So what are we doing? This is a resource sharing practice. It's somewhat structured. Hopefully you've met some exciting people in the past few days at Cooperation Humboldt, or you want to meet people, so you're here. This is the story. Often the resources we meet to make our work are right in our community. The Idea Lab is a simple practice that helps connect artists, designers, craftspeople, and all creative people, meaning everyone, to share ideas and resources. Thanks again to everyone at Cooperation Humboldt for making this possible. What we're going to do is meet, say hello to each other, split into small groups, and then each of you will share a challenge in your creative life, work, or anything else you like for 3 minutes. And then the small group will brainstorm resources and ideas that might meet that challenge for 7 minutes. And you'll rotate through until everyone in your small group has done that. And then the whole group will come back together. So this is a practice of abundance. There are amazing skills and resources. Over 730 people shared the abundant ways they spend their time, things they have access to, and areas they have expertise in and can share. This is what we're about to do. We're going to check in, do an overview, see if you have any questions, then split into small groups of 4 to 5 people. Again, each person will share a challenge in their creative life or work for 3 minutes. The small group will brainstorm resources and ideas that might meet that challenge for 7 minutes. You'll rotate through until everyone has gone who wants to. You can also be a fly on the wall. And then the whole group will come back together. So before I get into some of the abundant things I know we have in this group, if you're open to it, if you could share where you're coming from, your pronouns, and what brought you here, that would be great. I'm gonna put that in the chat. Where are you coming from? What are your pronouns? And what brought you here? I'd love to get a sense of who's here together. So as you're typing some things in the chat to say hello to each other, to get a sense of the group, I'm going to keep describing this session for you all. So here's some of the things, the places that we know. If we were a collective organism, which I like to imagine, we would be from all of these places. You can see all of the places that are coming in, also in the chat. And as a collective organism, here's some things that we did today. We did massage, we gardened, we biked, we made social practice art, we built something, we worked with a carpenter, we did herbalism, we did yoga, we maintained things, we taught, we created, we interpreted, we practiced law, we did social work. You can see all of these things. We are a pretty amazing collective organism. And we have expertise in event coordination, clearly. Great job, Cooperation Humboldt. K-12, education, listening, fundraising, videography, healing, meditation, government rigmarole, more coordination, a lot of listening, social media marketing, photography, connections, graphic design. You can see it. This is quite a collective organism. And here are the things we have access to. Look at us. We have fabric, rehearsal space, a recording studio, a garden, a printing press, packing materials, bulk herbs, a sewing machine, land for growing, another recording studio, another printing press, a trailer, a sewing machine again, a silkscreen setup, another rehearsal space. We have a media library. There's a lot that we can offer each other. So again, we can see the wide range of places we're coming from, the wide range of skills that we have here. And before we get into the small groups, I'd love to give you 5 minutes to journal about a challenge in your creative life, work, or dreamland. It could be a request for brainstorming about an idea, for example, how to dismantle capitalism, topics you heard about in the past 3 days, feedback you want on a project, help refining an idea, how to get access to space or equipment, connections to experts in another field, information about venues for your work. So take 5 minutes, and then whatever you're thinking about can shift when you're in your small group. We will split into small groups so you can meet each other and begin to brainstorm. And if you want to be more of a fly on the wall, or you want to give feedback but not propose an idea for feedback, that's okay. And you can also get out of the Zoom, be like, oh, not for me, I don't want to be in a small group. No worries. This might not be the space for you at this moment. All right, so let's just take 5 minutes. I'm going to play some music. Think about your challenge. What is your challenge? And also, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat or speak them aloud. I'm going to play music. And then where you only see a Zoom chat that is for your group. So if you are a person who likes to know the structure, I can't put this in a chat that you will see when you're in a small group. So I'm going to say this out loud, and if you want to write it down, you can. We're about to teleport into small groups of 4 to 5 people. Write this down if you like. As a Zoom chat will only be for your group to see while you're in the small group. Whatever you say is just for your group. We'll send reminders to your groups, but you can't chat with us as the facilitators. Yeah, screenshot, thank you. Much better, much faster. So in small groups, you'll have around 10 minutes to say hello to each other, to share where you're coming from, give visual descriptions, share your pronouns. So for example, again, I'm a white woman with brown hair. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm on the unceded ancestral territories of the Podunk, Tunksits, Wangunk, and Sikkawag peoples. And then whoever feels ready to go will go first. They'll be person 1, and you'll have around 3 minutes to share a challenge in your creative life or work. Anything you want to say, something you want feedback on, ways to access resources, anything. And then for 7 minutes, the group will ask clarifying questions and brainstorm resources and ideas to meet that challenge. So whatever feedback they have after they understand what you've been describing as a challenge, they'll give it to you. And then you'll just repeat that for the second person, the third person, the fourth person, and maybe the fifth person if you're in a group of 5. And if your group is not working for you for any reason, I encourage you to ask for support from the group itself. I think in dismantling capitalism and building solidarity economies, it's important to practice repair and agency. So let's try to work together. There are a lot of listeners and facilitators in our midst. Please practice your skills and support each other. If the group cannot shift to support your needs, come back to the main room and we can assign you to another group and work with you. Do you all have any questions about this process, getting in small groups, anything before we teleport? You can put it in the chat or say it out loud. Okay, so enjoy. The Zoom gods, goddesses, and fates will determine who you should meet on this day at this time. So let's teleport. You'll have around an hour together. We'll be guiding you through. Enjoy. We're going to begin the teleporting. Stretch a little bit. Go for it. If you want to say something out loud about how you're feeling or a connection that was made, go for it. Or if you want to put in the chat, go for it. Yes, for the babies. Yes, for the babies. So yeah, let me know anything that emerged. There's always some beautiful fates. The Zoom fates do things. You were supposed to be here at this time in that group for some reason that might not be clear to you for years. But if it was clear, I'd love to hear what happened very briefly. We're going to close in a minute. So unmute yourself if you want to share something or type it up in the chat. I like closing on time. I'm a Capricorn. So, you know, I will respect the clock. For good and bad, it's a problem in our capitalist world. Got to end the clock eventually. Get rid of the clocks. But for now, my clock is a body clock based on this baby. So we're going to be ending on time. Yeah, this baby does not know the clock yet. Okay, so we're gonna close on time. Thank you, Cooperation Humboldt, for this beautiful event. I hope you enjoyed your group. Please take this practice of resource sharing anywhere you like. You can email me later, just my name at Gmail if you want the facilitator guide. And to close, I'd love to do one activity very briefly. If you could put your hands out in front of you and have your palms facing each other, I want you to sense all of the people in this room and sense that we are one collective organism with all of these tentacles. Feel your tentacles. Feel them, sense them. Look at how many arms we have right now. Feel it. And at one time, we don't know when, all of our tentacles are going to clap at once. Here we go. All right, people, enjoy the night, sleep well. Thank you, Cooperation Humboldt. Practice this anywhere, anytime. Here we go.
Thank you so much, Caroline. And thank you.